And then there's ISIS. I have a simple message for them. Their days are numbered. I won't tell them where, and I won't tell them how. We must, as a nation, be more unpredictable. We are totally predictable. We tell everything. We're sending troops, we tell them. We're sending something else, we have a news conference. We have to be unpredictable.
All right, he might have been referring to that as Donald Trump moments ago in his first foreign policy speech, a scripted one at that. A lot of people are making the other, he lowered the octane and the energy level there, but maybe for good reason. But this could be in response to the president's move earlier this week to announce he's sending 250 additional troops, advisors, whatever you want to call them, to Syria. I've got my buddy Kennedy here, star of her primetime show on this great network. What do you think? How do you think he did?
I think mechanically he still needs a little bit of work on the teleprompter, but that's just me being a fuss budget. In general, I thought it was a very serious speech and an interesting move the day after a decisive primary victory. And, it's obvious that both candidates today near the top, Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, are making big moves to sort of coalesce the headlines around their campaign.
Who's going to have the press? Won't it be Ted Cruz, because this event is later? Presumably he's going to, among other things, announce Carly Fiorina as a running mate. We don't know that for sure. Others have it that he might get a big endorsement. He gets the more current thunder, doesn't he, in the press?
I think Cruz gets the emotional burst, but I think that is actually going to be short-lived. I don't think anyone's going to be terribly surprised about his announcement. I don't think that this is the kind of Hail Mary that salvages his campaign.
It looks a little desperate, right?
It does look desperate, especially after his concession speech before the polls even closed last night in Indiana, where he had a couple of other fumbles. But I think
he has to win Indiana. Isn't that a given? I mean, you can't just... He has to win it.
Well, and he certainly can't come in third to John Kasich, where he did last night in 4 out of 5 states.
4 out of 5 states.
But I think Trump actually provides longer-lasting fodder that people can analyze and pore over and really try and assess how serious of a candidate he is, given the speech that he just made.
As a libertarian, too, when he talks about allies are not paying their fair share, in NATO, only 4 of the 28 countries are spending the 2% required on defense, that under President Trump stops. What do you make of that?
I think that's fantastic. I think that's measured and practical. And any time you can limit the expenditures in this country, especially in regards to what we're doing with the military and helping our allies overseas, and I think that's what people expected from him as a businessman before he got into the race. Someone who would look at cost-benefit analysis and be able to determine where we're spending money foolishly. And I think that's one of those areas where you
But he is talking about beefing up the military.
That's the part of it that I'm not necessarily
He's going to watch every dollar.
Yeah, and he talks about China and Russia beefing up their military. We're still outspending them phenomenally, and he knows that.
All right. Very good seeing you. Fantastic last night.
I loved being a part of it.
We appreciate it very, very much. Kennedy, or you can catch her tonight, 8 p.m.